Linus. That's
okay, so it's time to dig into the pizza, Linus.
Yeah.
And
more pizza, please.
more pizza.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
And that was
sure.
taxi for Johansson at the end there. Actually, it was pretty miserable to
Taxi?
blunder. Yes, it's something you say if you're messed up in football. I think then. Taxi
home or
just away from the stadium, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Yes, something like that. It's like being sent to pølsebua. Alle pjäserna måste med på festen. Va?
Ja, det måste de.
Yes. Okay, this is Linus's one of his usual openings, the Queen's Indian, which is quite solid, but Linus needs to win now, 2-0. It's pretty bad, the situation for Linus now.
0, eh? Yeah, and we have one of the finalists in the chat, GM Johan Sebastian Christiansen. Of course, he only wants to play Among Us, which is the only thing he does these days.
Yeah, so I've gathered.
Come again?
Yeah, I've noticed one of my roommates is playing as well, pretty loudly. Okay, this is very solid for black after the exchange of pawns on d5, but again we have to remember that Jesper is content with a couple of draws now because he's comfortably in the lead.
Yeah, for sure.
Linus needs to take some chances.
But I kind of like black's position here. I'm not sure if it's actually... I guess it's quite even or slightly better for white, but...
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't like these two bishops.
No,
they're not very active. I like black's position here, actually. So.
Yeah, okay, good. Then my intuition is not too far off.
It's not too far off mine, at least. Not.
Yes, Johan Sebastian. It's 2-0 for Thybo.
Yes.
Last game, Linus blundered mate in 2.
Yeah, he was a pawn up after a pretty good game, but he blundered a mate, and in the first game he was the victim of an opening disaster. So.
Yes. Yeah, there's some more talk about the moustache. I don't think we need to discuss that any further, though.
It's been mentioned a couple of times.
Yes.
94 looks like a good positional move, securing a square on d5 for the queen. Could play rook c4, but then b5, I guess.
Yeah, so let's say we trade off all the major pieces, then I guess...
the rooks at least, right?
Yeah, then I guess black would be favored due to the fact that he has the bishop that is on black dark squares.
Yeah, so his bishop is outside the pawn chain and is reasonably active. This one is not so good at the moment, but it doesn't look like it should be a major issue for white, at least not for now. Okay, a4 is good, preparing rook c4. I guess queen c8 or something will be played. Maybe even queen c7.
Doesn't threaten anything though.
No, it doesn't really do much, and rook c3 is also a possibility to...
But again, okay, so you mentioned that if we trade off all the rooks, but is it in black's interest to trade off the queens as well, or should that just be a draw?
I don't think so. That looks very even to me, but of course black might have some slight advantage due to this pawn being a pain in the ass for white.
Okay, because now we see a invitation for a trade.
Maybe this one will be played.
Can black avoid it? Yeah.
Queen d5, queen
c4,
and then I guess do something like this, or maybe even f6, f5, but it's hard to imagine that being an advantage for black.
Okay, so he exchanges queens off the board. We have an endgame with equal material.
Do you want to play king g2 f3, or do you want to leave it there? I guess leave it, right? Just leave that pawn on e4 and...
yeah, I guess.
This looks reasonable. The time is pretty even. A small advantage for Linus there.
Time is not the problem in this game.
No, it's not an issue here.
Both are wave them more than enough time
and this looks,
to figure out this position.
This should be pretty even. I mean, white will just leave these pawns as they are on the queen side and support with the king. Of course, Linus will enjoy his king's position on d5, but the question is, can he make any headway? Well, f5, g5, f4 is of course possible, and a major issue for Jesper is whether to play f3 and break up the center, or if he wants to leave it as it is. F3 is also possibly met by f5.
Yeah, I was thinking about f5. Is that? I guess that's in black's interest if he wants to play for a win at least.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Just of course he would prefer the king being on d5 to recapture, but f5 is definitely very logical to just keep this annoying pawn on e4. And besides, it keeps the white central pawns on dark squares, which is important.
Yeah.
As they might become weak in some endgame.
It's hard to win this position, though. I mean,
it is, but I think black is having all the fun here, right?
Yeah, black should be having all the fun.
And look at Jesper's time position. I mean, the clock is ticking for Jesper.
It is
24 seconds.
Yeah, I mentioned that time was not an issue in this game, but
surprisingly often it becomes an issue, right?
Yeah.
In blitz, at least. G4 might be a plan for white now to improve his bishop.
Usually just want to put all of the pawns on the opposite color.
Yeah, b5, good move, but you don't want to do much here, I guess. Maybe you can take and run to c2. Okay, he leaves it there. That's interesting.
Okay.
And then king b6 or take on a4.
It's not like there's a revolutionary way of winning this, I think. I guess this position should just be draw.
Should be, but okay.
Okay.
He's allowing king to c4. Might not be dangerous, though, if you just make evading moves with the bishop. But this looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah, now I'm not so sure anymore, especially also because of the time.
Yes, I think that's the main issue here.
I mean, bishop e1...
Yeah, to f2, and then suddenly king b4 is a threat now, right?
Yes,
you can't do much about that.
Well, bishop c7, but that's...
I think Linus is gonna win this game.
That's pretty good, if he does.
That's pretty good. His opening was solid, and he got a small advantage. At least positionally it looked slightly easier to play, and then suddenly Jesper didn't find any active plan.
Alright, so what's the saying? You need 2 weaknesses to win an endgame like this. Is that the thing?
Well, he's
because he's
found one.
Yeah,
but he can't allow Jesper to become too active here on the king's side.
Ooh, okay. White cannot trade bishops. This is just one.
No, he must, because bishop b4 is okay. Bishop a7 was the only move, but
okay,
now
bishop c7 and it's just over.
Yeah, or c7 even easier. And this pawn will run 2-1. That's
right.
Very nice.